What's up? Hello. Hello, Vigilantes. How's everybody doing? How's that looking? Good? Our live stream? Liven it up. Wish we could somehow make that a little. We're going to just tighten that up just to hear you guys. There we go. Boom. Vigilante Live. News coverage. What's up? How's everybody doing? We've got hope you can see and hear me. Let me know if you can see and hear everything all right. Volume, video, audio. Let me know how it's going. Okay. We'll go here to the live business. I'm not seeing any chats yet. Live streaming. Events. Boom. Oh, there it is. Oh, wow. All right. Look at all you guys. Long Beach. Everyone can see and hear me? Right on, man. Hello from San Diego. What's up? I didn't win in Pennsylvania? That's bullshit. Please, for the love of vegan smoothies, talk about Florida, Debbie Wasserman Schultz BS. I was just going to talk about like cooking recipes. I don't know. Is anything big happening right now? Is anything going on? You can see and hear everything. All right. Yeah, Tim was robbed. Oh boy. We'll get into all of it, you guys. We will get into all of it. Of course, the Streamlabs is here. So, all right, everything's cool. Let me do this. Annabelle Corley going back to work, call from Australia. Right on. It's Wednesday there. Who picked up what seats in the future, Annabelle? Yeah, Illinois got a billionaire Dem governor. Oh, Pritzker. Let's talk about that. The Pritzker family are just billionaire. I mean, they're a hotel magnate. I mean, that just shows you. So, Illinois is a very democratic state, obviously, and it's all right. I just want to tell you guys this. So I wish I could show this to you. I'm looking at my television is right there, and ABC has just projected Ted Cruz winning over Beto O'Rourke. That's what they're projecting. So 51% of the vote. Paul McGinnis Puppetry, thank you for supporting the show, dude. Shave the knuckles. It just got off work. How are the Justice Democrats doing? All right, let's go into, let me bring that up here. That's a great question. Let's see how the Justice Democrats are doing. I'm trying to follow. There's so much stuff to follow. Who's doing what? Let's see. Most of their candidates, okay. I wish there was like a live. Here's all their candidates. You know, Puppetry, it's hard for me to say at this point. Let's see. Let me look at 11-6. So Yeah. What I need to bring up here is mhm. I'll look as soon as I get that information, Paul. I'll try to update that as much as possible. I'm trying to see if there's one like comprehensive website that can say this is what. I mean, I have the Justice Democrats website up and all of their candidates. So as we get results, we can tune into that. But I just want to go to A mayors. They're pretending that Tim Canova lost by so much he can't call a recount. They should forge a recount. Yeah. Don't know. Don't have any information yet on Kenneth Mejia. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to open up another window. Let's see voting map 2018. California polls close in a little more than 45 minutes. Live election results map. Let's see. Okay, here we go. The New Yorker's map. Yeah, I just got back. I was in the Burbank podcasting, doing all my movie podcasts today, and I literally just got home and had time to eat something real quick, and then doing this. We go to if we go to the 270 to win, the interactive map. Let's bring this up here. I'm sure you all have various TVs on and whatnot. Let me bring this over. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Full size. Okay. So this is basically what is going on right now. These are the contested race. So far, they're saying this is what's so confusing about watching the corporate media, because if you watch ABC right now, ABC, which I have on my TV right there, and I wish I could somehow put it on here, is ABC is not, they're only giving numbers of called races, where like MSNBC and these guys are already saying the Democrats have 210, and these are the contested, and these are the Republicans 197. So the number that the Democrats need is 218, right? So that's interesting. Yeah, Meg 205 just said, what the fuck is going on? Fox called the House for the Dems, but no one else has. That looks like an oasis of sanity. Yeah. CNN is projecting the House too. CIA Post has a good setup. CNN finally called it too. Okay. Well, let me go back here. So these are the brown is the toss up. Here's it. So this is how you read this map. So this means if it's all blue, it's safe. If it's all red, it's safe. As the colors shade, then they're saying the lighter they are, the less likely. And then these are just too close to call. So all of this is New Mexico is too close to call. All of, I guess that's Maine, is too close to call. And then there's some districts here in California that are too close to call. Some of, I think that might even be Kenneth Mejia's district right there. So let me come back to this. And of course, you can support the show with Streamlabs and with the Super Chat. But this is going to be a pretty fluid situation here. So let me bring this back up as we look at that map for a second. And I'll refresh that in a second to see if it changed. voting map. Let me see if I can bring California. California election results. So I'm going to bring this up on Politico here. So they're not resorting. See, here's the thing with California: they're not going to give any voter percent yet until the polls close. So we can't even see this. I'll check the 34th real quick. Yeah. It's hard to say right now. So they won't predict anything on the West Coast until the polls have closed. That's something that started happening after the 2000s. So what happened in 2000, for those of you who weren't around, they were predicting Al Gore the winner, and then everything changed because they were getting all this stuff on slowly. So let me go right here. Fox News said there was no systematic voter fraud. Well, the Fox says that, I guess we're good, guys. Everything was on the up and up. Layered life. If Bernie runs, does he have a chance in 2020 against Trump? Yeah, I think he does. And here's why. The Democrats were predicting like a huge blue wave. I don't know that that's going to be the case. They could very well win control of the House. Some of the races that I'm seeing that they didn't win, it's because they ran on a more of a centrist platform. They ran the corporate Democrats, or that video I did, the CIA Democrats. Some of those races they lost. So like the big progressive, what was her name? The first Native American woman to ever be elected Congress. It just happened. So like, right, I'm sorry to switch up, but looking at, so right now, this says 210 to 197, but ABC is only saying 150 Democrat, 153 Republican, because they're not, what this map is doing and what other maps are doing is like factoring in, races like, let's say Dianne Feinstein, she's running against another Democrat, so they're just automatically saying the Democrats have that seat, which is it's a fair thing to say, but and anything that's contested, anything that isn't a Democrat versus Republican, or even the Mejia one. So going back to your question, I do think Bernie could beat Trump, absolutely, because he will run through all these red states where all these working class people and say, I'm going to get you Medicare for all. Trump's trying to get rid of Obamacare. I'm going to get you Medicare for all. That's what's going to happen. Real quick, so far the Democrats have picked up 12 seats in the Congress. I think Trump can win a bunch of red states. Or excuse me, Bernie could win a bunch of red states if he ran in 2020. That's my thing, because the Democrats, one of the reasons this isn't a completely blue wave, in my opinion, is because there's too many centrists and corporate Democrats running. If this was like all majority progressive, there would be a blue wave. There absolutely would be a blue wave, I think. Ted Cruz won, though I heard voter purging would play an element, though. Yeah. Heard that there's vote flipping in Texas with Cruz Beto. Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, I'm betting Andrew Gilliam will lose too. Now that's a great example. That goes to what I'm talking about. So when Gilliam won in the primary, many of us were like, oh, awesome. And then his campaign, he posied up to corporate Democrats and went more, and all of a sudden took single payer healthcare off his website. And it's the dumbest thing that the Democrats do. They always get scared of going too left, and they start moving to the center. They got to go right. They got to go right. They got to go to the center, and they always get scared when they do that. And that's why Gilliam might lose. The Democrats keep missing the boat. As they said back in the 80s, it's the economy, stupid. There's large portions of this country are really hurting financially. You tell them $15 an hour. You tell them Medicare for all. You tell them free college tuition. We're going to eliminate, we're going to pay off student, your student loan debt. We're going to wipe that out. Can you imagine what that would do to the economy if the federal government just went? I had a great conversation with Dr. Fidel Kabub, I believe is his name. He's an economics professor at Denison University in Ohio. And he told me, this is my ongoing MMT interviews that I've been doing on this show. And, he brought up a great point. He said, let's look to World War II. So America was coming off the Depression, 25% unemployment. And then the American war effort was all paid for by the federal government. We didn't start doing war bonds till after the war machine was up and running. And in a matter of months, the whole country went to work, right? So I'm just watching ABC, and ABC is now predicting that the Republicans will retain control of the Senate. Well, before I go back to that MMT conversation, I just want to say I think we should abolish the Senate because, Wyoming has 2 senators, and California, with the 5th largest economy in the world, has 2 senators. That's the old adage is it's where good ideas go to die. So anyway, what he was saying is, so in World War II, the federal government just spent all this money putting all of America to work. We then went from 25% unemployment to a surplus of jobs. We had to then put women were not working at that time. You got to remember, we put women into the workforce because we had so many jobs, everybody was working. As Dr. Kabuba explained to me, war bonds did not finance the war machine. War bonds were put in place to pull some of the money out of the economy because everybody was working. And, Detroit was not making new cars. Everything was going towards the war machine. So if everyone had all this extra money, they would have then caused inflation in the middle of the war. So they said, here's the war bonds. Pay this, help support the war. So they grabbed up all of everybody's extra discretionary income and held on to it for a couple of years and then gave it back to them after the war. Like there was the first 3 years of the war, there was no new cars made. There was no new nothing. No one was, you were collecting tin cans and steel. We needed it. So it was like we weren't making new refrigerators, stoves. Back then, everything was made out of steel, not plastics, right? You had a cast iron stove. You had cast iron frying pans. You had an iron, refrigerator was made out of mainly iron and steel. So that's we had this discussion to where if a president came in and said, we're going to do a Green New Deal, the environment is going to wipe the planet Earth, like any sort of structured human society is going to go away in the next 10 to 20, 30 years. So we have to put all hands on deck and do this. The federal government could spend all the money. It's a thing that we've learned from MMT. We don't need to cut the military budget to pay for a Green New Deal. We need to cut the military budget because it's immoral. Spending all that money on killing people is wrong. The money is there, though. Right now, the federal government could just, as they did in World War II, just say, we're putting the whole country to work. Building wind turbines, solar panels, all of it. Putting it all to work. So it's pretty insane. California should have 8 senators, yeah. Let's see. Fantastic Life. Dominic, thank you for supporting the show, man. Redneconomics just released a video where she laments the complete lack of acceptable choices in the West Virginia election. It appears Carlin was right. We really don't have choices. Well, thank you so much for telling us about this. And also, guys, Redneconomics. I haven't seen her on the Super Chat in a while. I hope she's doing well. She's got a really cool channel, Redneconomics. Go check it out. She gives you a lot of issues of what's going on in West Virginia. And whether you live in West Virginia or not, what she's doing is showing, look, here's a state that has like 50% unemployment. It has an opioid epidemic. And we have and she's running, she's started to work heavy with the Green Party. And that's a great point that Dominic's bringing up. There's not a lot of acceptable choices in the West Virginia election. I mean, I have to deal with this in California of Dianne Feinstein versus De Leon, and De Leon is a little bit better. He's calling himself progressive, but we've seen in this midterm, so many Democrats are just slapping progressive on there. In the same way that like products, just like a food product says all natural, then you read the ingredients and it's all like high fructose corn syrup and sugar and nonsense. So the Democrats, many corporate Democrats are just trying to co-opt the term progressive, just like organic or eco, and it's like, it's a bummer. And Redneconomics is right that there aren't a lot of great choices. I wish I lived in Kenneth Mejia's district, or Rodolfo, I believe, is that other green that's running against a corporate Democrat. And I believe the Coachella area, that whatever, I forget what district number that is. But Fantastic Life, thank you for supporting the show. And guys, go check out Redneconomics' video. She's doing great work, man. Yeah. People who would make great representatives refuse to run. That's true, B Green, but also you're seeing they don't have the money. Dianne Feinstein raised $16 million for this campaign. De Leon, who isn't even that progressive, I mean, he's progressive on certain issues. He wants single-payer health care. He wants to end ICE. Okay. He raised $1 million. That's the thing. You get the money out of pocket. It's hard to run an issue-based race when you don't have the money. The No on Prop 10 campaign spent $45 million on that. $45 million to lie to everybody that Prop 10 was going to make their home, kick vets out on the street. I saw this crazy ad today. Veterans will have to live on the street if Prop 10 passes. That's complete bullshit. Not true. Not true at all. Jay McClinton 8, BBC host admits that on air that voters are not happy with the choices in the election. Right. Bigger, and if they run on the issues, the people will give them the money. While I agree with that, the problem is, or the hurdle is, how do you get that message out? Right. All right. I'm watching ABC right now. The Democrats have 152 seats to the Republicans, 153 for Congress. So far, the Democrats have picked up 13 seats. They need to pick up 23. Laura Kelly they're predicting her to be governor of Kansas. She's a Democrat with 80%. So the governor races right now, as I look at the ABC, they've picked up 2. Democrats have picked up 2. Me 2005. Okay, NBC just called the House for the Dems, so it's official. Yeah. It's K-Line report. There's a great tweet. There's been a constant winner for 40 years. It's no color, no party, just Goldman Sachs. Absolutely. Florida just voted to allow former felons to vote again. 1.5 million new voters. Okay. Florida just voted to ban Greyhound racing. That's good. Greyhound racing is pretty inhumane. It's pretty horrible. My pleasure. I'm trying to read all these guys. You guys are popping quick, and it's awesome that there's so much activity on this right now. How can Florida vote for these measures and Tim Canova loses? Rigged again. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. But that's you know, the Greyhound ballot measure and the ex-con ballot measure was not going up against the Debbie Wasserman Schultz corruption machine. You know, she's very good. She is just classic corrupt politician. Who's just like, I'm not going to lose to Tim Canova. I'm going to do whatever I can. This chat is much better than the main TYT live stream. The white supremacists are going nuts over there. Chris Walker, you did a great job Friday night in Sacramento, Graham. My friends and I enjoyed meeting you and laughed so much. Oh, let me say that real quick. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks to everybody that came out to Sacramento and San Francisco. These shows were so great. We sold out Sacramento, and then 2 weeks prior, and then we were in a bigger venue in San Francisco, and we sold that out day of show. There was people standing in the back because all the seats were taken. It was so great. It was so great to meet many of you in person. That's why we love doing the live shows. So, you know, hopefully we can get Tim Canova out in Florida in January and hear him tell his story, or anybody that worked on his campaign. So guys, if you are in Florida, come to those live shows, because they're probably, some or all of them are going to sell out. And, you know, the people that were there like bought their tickets in advance, and it's pretty cool. San Francisco could be a hard town to sell tickets in. I've just performed there a lot because it's a massive city with a lot of stuff going on. It has 2 full-time comedy clubs, the Punchline and Cobb's. It has all these music venues and all these live performance venues, and the fact that we sold out there was just awesome. And it was cool because the Movement for a People's Party was at both shows this weekend in Northern California, which was great. We had PM Press there at the San Francisco show. David Hillenbrand, who ran against Dianne Feinstein in the primary, was in San Francisco. And Steve Jaffe, who ran against Pelosi in the primary, was in San Francisco. So it was really cool to have like actual progressive candidates there. It was very cool. Amirs, all I wanted to do was Tim Canova and Kenneth Mejia, and I live in Iowa, for fuck's sake. I may start smoking again after reading no reports. Let's not get too nuts. Mike Thompson, thanks for joining us from the TYT stream. K-Line Report, can't stand the ABC show. Oh my God, Donna Brazile and Chris Christie. You want to watch bullshit corporate politics? Watch the ABC live stream right now. Watch. They're all pals. Donna Brazile and Chris Christie, they're all joking around. He's a liar. She cheats. They're all pals on big corporate media. It's just, and so much of what they're talking about is how many women have won and how many men have won. Now, I'm not saying that isn't significant. And getting more women in politics is a great thing. Having more diversity in politics is a fine thing. But they're not talking about actual policy or platform. It's like that same bullshit with Hillary, right? Well, women voted for this and men voted for that. And it's just like, this is the corporate, remember the corporate media said, right? Told us what progressives were. We're all just violent millennial men, burn bro men. And like, you know, we're talking to, Ron and I are talking to people after show in San Francisco, right? We're talking to this woman who's a 63-year-old woman who's like, Graham, my Obamacare costs $900 a month. I'm 63. I work for like this tech company for a couple months, then this tech company. None of these tech companies will give me will give me health benefits because I'm not a full-time employee. So I have to pay $900 a month and some outrageous like $6,000 or $7,000 copay. Or not copay, but deductible. And then like a $75 copay or some ridiculous thing like that. She's 63 years old. She goes, it's because I'm a woman and because of my age, I have to pay more for healthcare. And she was so mad at Obama, who she voted for. Then right behind her was like an an Afghanistan vet who came up to me and was talking about being over and what bases he was at in Afghanistan when he was there. Right? Like that's progressives are anybody. And I'm seeing it at the shows. Who's there? I'm seeing all different people. I talked to two girls who were like 29, 30 years old in Sacramento who got involved because of Bernie. And one of them was like, I want to get involved in politics. And they brought a friend, this guy, and they were like, that's who's there. And then there's David Hillebrand. And then there's older people all ages. It's not millennials, it's everybody. And this is the bullshit I watch. And this is they push this agenda. You know, are a lot of women running because Hillary lost and Trump is a rapist, sexist asshole? Yeah, that's a fair thing to bring up. But then they always just stop there. And they just push all this nonsense. They never show America as this big. I mean, look at these maps. There's only two real colors. It's just you're red or you're blue. These two colors determine 330 million people's points of view. What? Where do I fit? Where do I fit? Where do you guys fit? Some of you like Second Amendment progressives. Where do you fit? Where do you fit? Like none of it. It's insane. It's insane to me. Natural progressive. Hey, Chris. Good news from Utah. Medical marijuana and Medicaid expansion. One big boom. Boom, boom, boom. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. You're giving me news in real time. That's so awesome. That's so awesome. That is so great. Medical marijuana and Medicaid in Utah, like the reddest of red states. See what happens? See how dumb the Democrats are? If every Democrat was like, free health care for everybody, enough of this nonsense. What else does natural progressive have for us? Romney is winning, but not by the landslide that was predicted. Ahead by 3 points, not the predicted 15 points. Okay. Boom. That's great to hear, man. Illinois is running out of Republicans. Yeah. They just have fucking Rahm Emanuel corporate Democrats. L Mission, please analyze California Proposition, specifically 10, rent control, and LA Prop 8. I'm for both of those. As soon as the the California polls close at 8, we'll start to get election results. Right now, they're not giving any. So I'm watching this right now. Andrew Gilliam is trailing by about 80,000 votes. In what I just saw on ABC, Andrew Gilliam is trailing by about 80,000 votes in Florida. He has 49% of the vote. The other dude has 50% of the vote. Massachusetts governor is going to be a Republican. Did I vote to save the pigs? Prop 12? Yeah. Why can't the Greens get organized or start a united progressive party? So many fractured progressive groups, but not so much consensus or organization. Well, be Green. That's a great question. But tonight is far from over. So there's Kenneth Mejia and Rodolfo, I believe, are two Greens running against Democrats in traditionally Democratic districts in California. If those two win, or even one of them wins, but if both of those two win, then there's going to be two Greens in Congress. That will change the makeup of things a lot. that will everyone go, well, then we won't have a majority or blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're going to have two spoilers. We're going to have two spoilers. That could be big. If that were to happen, Greens could then get more notoriety and more funding. That's what this comes down to. Like if some billionaire were to just give the Green Party, $500 million or something like that to really get Greens elected, you would see things change. If you watch I believe it's a 2-part interview with Jill Stein on the Jimmy Dore Show, she talks about there's a lot of good Green local elections. The Green Party gets criticized for only running every 4 years in the presidential race, which is not true. I voted for a Green on my rent control board. There's a guy running on my rent control board that's a Green. I voted for the guy. So it's huge. Kimberly Schwanke, I vote Green 80% of the time. Screw the Dems, even if they usually win. Yeah. I know it's looking like Beto O'Rourke might lose. Meade 2005, Justice Dems and the Greens should form a progressive caucus. That's a great idea. That is a great idea. A Green in Congress would be great, or 10, absolutely. Ron Pacone made the point of it. If you can't vote for a candidate, you can leave it blank and vote the specific propositions, Prop 10 in LA. Yeah, absolutely. I said that. There's a couple judges and stuff I didn't know. I didn't vote. I didn't vote in that category. I just didn't vote. So I voted for all the propositions I cared about, which is a good point. Natural Progressive, I have one Green for House on my ballot. I voted for him. Santa Monica. The Green candidate for governor, Howie Hawkins in New York, he lost. That's a bummer. Yeah, we all left some spots blank, it looks like. Forget, guys, if you want me to announce something specific and support the show, you can do Streamlabs or obviously the Super Chat on YouTube. Amars, you wrote yourself in when you had no choice. Good for you. One of the couple of the judges, you could write people in. So I wrote in my lawyer. He's been really helpful. Yeah, I had to get a restraining order against my ex-girlfriend, so he's been very helpful in protecting me. So I wrote him in. Maybe he'll win. And yeah, their law firm sponsored the LA Podfest last year. Prop 12 is about giving the factory farm pigs some more room in the cage. Yeah. No worries, Natural Progressive. No worries. If money's tight, guys, don't worry about it. This is a bonus app. If you want to, that's a way to do it. Another great way to support the show is become a patron. That's like the best way to support the show. Streamlabs is great too, because they take a very small percentage, as does Patreon. But of course, right now, share this live stream on your social media. Get more people to watch it. Right now, we have 67 people and 21 likes. Hit the thumbs up like button. That helps. Make sure you're subscribed and make sure you hit the bell button. You can all do those things right now. Chris Walker, I just wish there was one true voting method across the states that can be checked. Neither party wants true election reform, so they do not have to take blame for rigging. Absolutely. Well, they want to be able to rig it. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm a mobster and I got a mob family, a criminal family, and you got a criminal, I don't want to call you out on your crimes too much, because then I can't do my crimes. You know, it's like I can't say you're a drug dealer when I'm over here, you know, selling illegal weapons. So how do you do Streamlabs? It's in the title of today's episode. If you see it, streamlabs.com/Graham Elwood. It's in the title. And you just go there and you donate through PayPal, and you can ask me a question just like on the Super Chat. I check it every couple of minutes, and I'll answer whatever question you have if you go to Streamlabs. Senator Menendez and others just voted to revoke Assange's citizenship to Ecuador. Oh, God. Man. Mia Love is losing Senate seat. His new seat flip, not a great Dem, but still said he would not support Pelosi. Got it. Hit the like button, folks. Let's go back. I want to go back to this election map and refresh it and see if anything new has changed. 270 to win. 210 to 197. They haven't changed anything yet. Let's see what CNN has. Put CNN here, see what they've got. All right. So here's how CNN's doing it. GOP keeps the Senate. They got 50. They got 50 Republicans. So they're probably going to blame Bernie, right? And independent, we could have, run better candidates. So, okay, wow, again, they're also different. Republican Mike DeWine just they're predicting him as the governor of Ohio with 90% precincts reporting. So they're saying 141 to 140 here on this website. ABC says something else. Lunatics. God, they're lunatics. Key races. Let's go in the House. Let's go here and see if anything Florida. Florida House. California. Yeah, see, California still they won't give any voter numbers yet in California. See, they're all zeros. Kimberly Schwang, do you still like your Leaf? Actually, I have a Kia Soul EV. I say Nissan Leaf in my act because it's a more recognizable brand of electric car. Everyone knows the Leaf, and it sounds like an electric car because it's called a Leaf, whereas I have a Kia Soul, which is a regular kind of car that they happen to also make as electric. I love my electric car. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I love my electric car so much. Hey, Mares, I trust nothing. Post your P.O. box. No worries. Yeah. Here's my P.O. box. If some of you like writing me, and I've gotten some wonderful handwritten letters. Some of them I've read on the show. Some of them I deliberately do not because people don't want me to. Melanie S. NBC called it for Cruz at 50 to 48%. It was 78% in. Yep. Fantastic Life. Thanks for supporting the show, man. Shave the knuckles, you guys. Boom, boom, boom. Steve Greenfeld, Green candidate for the House, was the unwilling beneficiary of GOP PAC money spent on mailers sent to Democrats attacking the Dem candidate, stating that the Dem wasn't progressive enough. Dirty pool. Wow. Man. Wow. See how the two parties work? They don't care. The Republicans and Democrats do not give a shit about you, and they don't give a shit about me. They care about their parties. They care about this filthy little map. That's what they care about. Let's bring up this filthy map. Let's look at the big map. National results. Look at the map. That's all they care about. Who's red, who's blue, because this is how they make money. Dianne Feinstein raised $16 million for her midterm election. $16 million. $16 million. Where do you think that money came from? And private, regular people, but you got a lot of money from the pharmaceutical industry and everybody else like that. The banks, they gave her money. This is what they care about. Look at this. Seven pickups needed by Democrats for control. Interesting. Dominic, thank you for supporting the show. Yeah, that's just what they do. And that's why the Democrats go after the Greens so hard. And believe me, if libertarians start taking seats away from Republicans, you better believe the Republican Party is going to go kick their ass. Right? That they're going to try to take them out. And some of this stuff, is cooked up by think tanks, and then think tanks know how to sprinkle it into society so that it becomes like pie in the sky. I heard so many people repeat that about single-payer healthcare during the 2016 election. It's pie in the sky. How are we going to pay for it? We can pay for anything that we want. We can pay for anything. We paid for the New Deal. The federal government paid for the New Deal. The WPO, that was the federal government paid for that. Because the federal government can create currency. It issues currency so it can create it. State governments, local governments have to operate the same way you and I do, which is they're given money in a budget, just like you do with your house and me with mine. Figure out the budget. Federal government can create whatever the fuck it wants. Dominic, thank you for talking about Steve Greenfield, the Green candidate for the House, who was an unwilling beneficiary of GOP PAC money spent on mailers sent Democrats attacking the Dem candidate, stating the Dem wasn't progressive enough. Dirty pool. That's what they do. It's just, look, they're willing. Dominic brings up a great point. This is what these two parties will do anything. It's like a drug dealer, bumping into you and putting cocaine in your pocket, and then you get busted for having cocaine. That's what that is. That's what Dominic just told us about. Isn't that ridiculous? All right. Seawalk donated $5 on the stream labs. Sorry, I keep watching the TV over here. Thank you for sticking it to Google. Screw them. Thoughts on how the DNC spins results tonight, and who do you predict to be the early establishment shill to throw their name in the 2020 presidential race? Do you think a third party will be allowed in the national debate? So ABC News is now predicting the Democrats take control of the House. CNN hasn't does it yet, but ABC and NBC have. Okay. The Republicans got the Senate, where all good bills go to die. Chris Walker, you bring up a great question. I think it's going to be somebody like Kamala Harris or Elizabeth Warren who's really going to step forward for the Democrats. I think that's going to happen. And do you think a third party will be allowed in the national debate? Only if a massive amount of Americans, demand it. If we leave it to just the Green Party to try to make that happen, they don't have the money and the power to do it. If the American people, and this should be all American people, right? If diehard Trump supporting Republicans who claim to love America so much, they should want 3 or 4 candidates on the nationally televised presidential debates. You voted your diehard Republican, you should want the Green and the Libertarian candidates up there. Same should you if you're a diehard Democrat. If you're an American who believes in democracy, you should want 4 candidates on that stage, 4 different parties represented. You should absolutely demand that of your democracy. You should demand that we have a representative democracy. And two parties does not represent all of America. 4 parties doesn't, but it gets us damn closer than 2. So I want to see an actual debate, not this identity politic bullshit. Men are this, women are that, the black vote, the this vote, the that vote. How about anything? Identity politics is a great construct to keep us all divided. Identity politics is great for that. I'm not denying that there's there's sexism and racism in this country. I'm not denying that at all. But when that's all we focus on, then of course, great, we're all divided. Because you know what color unites this entire country? Green. The color of needing jobs. The color of needing health care. The color of needing college tuition. The color of needing breathable air and drinkable water. The color of needing a future for your children and grandchildren. That's what unites this country, but they can't have that. So they got to have these 2 corporate jackass parties, and we're all divided on these handful of issues. But it's overwhelming. People are being just all these Republicans that have been avidly against Obamacare. Everyone, even in these red districts, are like, what about pre-existing conditions? And many of these Republicans flipped and are like, oh, I support pre-existing conditions for sure. They're going against Trump. Because people are like, wait a minute. All I got is Obamacare. If I lose this, I lose my health care. So to answer your question, Seawalk, and thanks again for supporting the show on Streamlabs, everybody in this country needs to demand more candidates on stage. And you know what? That's something you could get all of your friends and family. You got a racist uncle? That's something you might be able to get him to agree with. That's something you should put on your Facebook, on your social media. Demand 4 parties on stage. Demand a real political debate about the issues. Those last debates were an embarrassment. They were an embarrassment. The 2 of them rarely talked about issues. They just did petty name calling, 2 rich kids arguing over who gets control of the country club, is what I saw. So demand it. Sorry, I just got a text. Thank you, Seawalk, for supporting the show. YouTube. Mr. Brokenez. Thank you for supporting the show. Shave them down, guys. Ohio Green Party lost party status. I was not aware of that. Man, those are the things of like, and going back. So that is something we should all want to support. I'm not a huge libertarian. I voted for a couple throughout my life. I voted for the Libertarian candidate in 1996 because I voted for Clinton in 92 and I didn't want to vote for him ever again. They're predicting Florida governor to be Ron DeSantis. Gilliam lost by about 80,000 votes. I wonder. Yeah, he just gave his concession speech. I wonder, had he stayed harder on the left if he would have won versus leaning in there with the corporate Dems. Tight race. It's a tight race. Lost by 80,000 votes. There was something like 8,000 votes cast. But back to you, Mr. Bird. Thank you for letting us know the Ohio Green Party lost its status. We should all be supporting the independent parties. Like I was saying, I've only voted for the Libertarians a couple of times. But we still, I would love to see Gary Johnson on stage. I don't think I would have voted for the guy. It didn't seem like sharp enough to be president for me. You know, when people say Hillary Clinton was the most qualified, I say, no, she wasn't. Yeah, she was. Between her and Trump, I say there were 4 candidates running. Dr. Jill Stein, Harvard-educated Dr. Jill Stein, was the most qualified president, in my opinion. That's why I voted for her. So here's the thing. I'm watching ABC News. So they're equating, Trump has a 51 to 48% approval rating in the state of Florida. And the most important issue in Florida, 40% say healthcare, 31% immigration, 16 economy, 10 gun policy. Healthcare. Healthcare. This is what I guarantee you ABC is not saying right now. They're saying, oh, there's a big, people support Trump in Florida. That's why Gilliam lost. No, he took single-payer healthcare off his website after he won the primary. He didn't go left enough. They're not going to say it. They're not going to say it on the corporate media. They're not going to say it. The Dems now, according to ABC, have 206 seats. And yeah, they're predicting it. This is at 151. They're predicting this. Okay. Oh, God. Technically, Gilliam lost by the same margin that crooked Hillary did. They like Trump there. Yeah, but I'm telling you, with that large of a senior citizen healthcare, man, I'm telling you, go harder to the left. If you go center, then yeah, the Trumpers are going to beat you in a red state. The Trumpers are going to beat you, man. Go hard left. Free healthcare, student loan forgiveness, $15 an hour, free college tuition. Boom, boom, boom. Florida is rigged. I saw it firsthand in 2000. No election integrity at all, and the Dems don't care. Yeah. This election tells us that elections are rigged and the powers that be get what they want every time, but for how long? Great question. Chris Wynn, Indiana doesn't have a Green Party presence and grinds my gears. I know tons of people who voted Bernie in 2016 and stayed home for the general election. Chris Wynn, start one. Get it going. Get people involved. Start a Green Party in Indiana. And you know who you campaign? You know who you go try to get? It's a red state. Get all the Bernie people. Say green is good for farming. Show how green energy helps farmers. It's an agricultural state, correct? Start it up, Chris. I'm about to. Warm it up, Chris. I'm about to. Just a thought. Kimberly Schwanke, hey Graham, do you know if that plastic cleanup contraption is working to get rid of the elastics in the oceans? I believe it is. I mean, it's what, you know, I've heard from, Heidi Heitkamp lost in the Senate to a Republican. That's weird. She's pretty Republican herself. There's another great example. I'm sorry, I'll answer your question in a second, but there's another great example. Heidi Heitkamp has voted with Republicans time and time again. This is something Jimmy Dore says. So many people say this. If Republicans have to choose between a Republican or a Democrat that acts like a Republican, they're going to pick the Republican. That's what they're going to do. So Bernie Sanders won Vermont, 66% to 29%. We saw that coming. Anyway, I believe, Kimberly, that the cleanup contraption is working, but one of the things we've talked about that I've mentioned before, and I heard this from an oceans activist, this woman Allison, and I forget her last name. She was on my buddy Mike Siegel's Travel Tales podcast. Is we can't recycle our way out of this. We got to stop making plastics. Sending a thing out in the ocean to clean up as much plastic, that's great. We got to get it out of there because it's killing the marine life. But we need to just stop using single-use plastic as much as we possibly can. So I'm going to take some water right now. Yeah, Jordan Bailey, the Dems don't want to win. Indianapolis County, this is Chris Wynn, has a 20% voter turnout rate on average because the poor and minority communities are totally disenfranchised by the establishment. Absolutely. I think if you sell people on the Green New Deal, oh, there's a troll in the chat. I'll get this asshole out of here. All right. Boom. Amit Cable, thanks for supporting the show, you guys. Boom. Shiv the knuckles. Thanks for supporting the show. You guys are fantastic. This is really cool. Really cool. You can do it on the Super Chat. You can do the Streamlabs. The incumbent. Yeah. Some Democratic incumbents lost in the Senate. Way to go. Way to go. Thanks again, Amit Cable. I don't know what's going on with Ocasio-Cortez's race. Yes, some progressive women did win tonight. Vegan Trove, let's hope AOC doesn't end up a Supreme Imperialist like the rest of that awful party, but I won't hold my breath. You never know. AOC won. Okay, Cortez won. Great. Layered Life. Graham, I'm in Texas. We produce the most renewable energy and farmers still vote Republican by large majority. They get a tax cut for solar and wind. I saw Jimmy in Austin, my home. Good point. But I think part of that, this is why I think the Green Party is the way to go, because diehard Republicans are just not going to vote for Democrats. Diehard Democrats are just not going to vote for Republicans. So if you went to Republican farmers in Texas and said, look, this is not the Democrats, they might not. They might still be like, no, I'm against gay marriage or whatever, they're hardline conservative, but you'll get some of them. I don't know, maybe I'm being overly optimistic. I just think if you came at them with, look, this will help farming, this will help your environment, this will bring you jobs, I think more people would come around to it. That's my thought. Well, Layered Life, Ron and I are talking about doing Texas in probably April. And maybe Utah in May. Utah and Boise, Idaho in May. This is our plan for 2019. Florida, obviously, in January. Those tickets are on sale right now. We're trying to set up shows in Hawaii, on Oahu, Maui, and the Big Island. In March, we're going to New Orleans, and now Pensacola. Those dates are being locked down. We'll have ticket info up soon. And we're going to add some cities around New Orleans and Pensacola in March. Pensacola, May 12th, New Orleans, excuse me, March 12th, Pensacola, March 13th, New Orleans. We're trying to find some other venues or shows. If you have any cool, like 100-seat, 150 seat venues in those areas, let us know. And April, we want to do Texas. So we would do Austin, we'd do Dallas, Houston, and maybe San Antonio. And like we were thinking about doing Salt Lake City, like on a Saturday in May, Sunday do a political vigilante in Salt Lake City, and then Monday drive up and do Boise. What do you think of that? June, we're looking to maybe do the East Coast. And July, maybe Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, that kind of thing. That's what Ron and I are looking at right now. But we got dates, we're locking dates down all the way through March right now. So, boom, see you there. Ricky Hernandez, Chacon. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. God, I just had it. Sorry, I lost it. Yay, just voted in California. One of the last. Green Party, environmental issues equals priorities. Right on. Yeah. Be Green. Diehard Dems vote for Repugs all the time. Repugs with a D behind their name. Yeah, exactly. Chris Wynn, come to Indianapolis, ditch Bloomington. Maybe we do both. Probably, if we had to choose, it'd probably be Indianapolis over Bloomington. But I don't know. If we could do both, I will. Bitcoin beefy, or we don't have to go vegan. We can just farm in a sustainable way. Humans evolve by spending less time gathering calories by eating meat. Yeah, it's a great point. 24 rib. Yeah. L Mission, funny thing, Karen Channel 4 in San Francisco is running with the governor race as the primary. Stupid John Cox didn't even run. Yeah, I know. When Gavin Newsom, and John Cox got the second one, Cox didn't even try to win. It was crazy. Melbourne, Florida is very progressive. All right, so California is now in. So CNN has updated their website. 157 Democrats, but that's already been called. State results. House. All right, let's go. We can get some polling numbers from California and see how Kenneth Mejia has done. Well, come on. Oh, this takes forever. What's up? All right. Okay. Huh. This is stupid. Hold on, I'm going to check this one better. Let's see. Here we go. California election results. This is from the New York Times. Okay. Right, let's bring this up here. You guys can see it. Open it up a little bit. You guys see this all right? Just showing Republican Democrat fucking races. Wait, John Cox is winning as a governor. This is only 2% of the precincts reported, but right now John Cox is in the lead. Like when Reagan was the governor, or Arnold. Key house races. How is Kenneth Mejia not a key race, you jackwagons? Maybe I'm reading the wrong ones here. Oh, that's the U.S. House. Oh, 53 districts. There we go. Jimmy Goins, Kenneth Mejia, nothing has been reported. These polls have closed. No, so far, nothing is reported in Mejia's district. Okay. And then let's go. Let's go here. All California results. Why is this such a hassle? Okay. Let's go where the other green is running. Oh, God, so stupid. All right, I'm sorry. It's driving me nuts. Goldilocks 369, American Beast, very much so. These have always been my lucky numbers. I picked them when I was. I don't know what that means. I'm tuning into the middle of you guys discussing something. Okay. You guys are talking numerology. Nice. Moose Gal, 2018 U.S. Senate election results for California Live updated. 2% reporting, 51% Dianne Feinstein, 49%. Yeah. I'm not expecting to do any longer than that. Get ready for a whole new chorus of voter shaming tomorrow. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, Debbie Western also like, no, Tulsi was, I don't know if she's running. I don't think she's running. Let me check that real quick. She wasn't running. We would all be talking about that. Oh, no, she did. Wait a minute. Nope, she was running. I'm a jackass. Um, their polls won't close for another 2 hours, I think. She's running for the 2nd district of Hawaii. I think she was just like going to crush the whoever she was running against. She's running against Brian Evans, a Republican. Yeah. She's going to win. And she's 37 years old. That's amazing. All right. Let me go back to the California election results here. Muscal, Illinois statewide wins for Democrats. Attorney General, Comptroller, Treasurer, Governor, Secretary of State, and possibly many of the DuPage County board seats might go to the Dems. All right. Yeah, exit polls are not allowed anymore. Yeah, I feel bad for the people of Florida, but Gilliam was a neoliberal faux progressive. I think so. We were all kind of excited about him, and then we saw just a lot of him sort of backpedaling to a corporate agenda. Yeah, John Cox is leading by 10 points right now. Only 2% of the precincts have polled in. So, I don't know if that's going to hold, but all of the races sucked in Iowa, but we took down Steve King. You're welcome, America. Way to go. Yeah, this is crazy. Wow. Okay. California election results. Let me just look at some of Politico's website right now. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see this district. All right. Let me go back to this. Sorry. This isn't crossing fingers. Yeah. Don't worry about the polls in California. The polls closed 25 minutes ago in California. So we'll just, they closed at 8 o'clock. So I think everyone is closed in the continental United States. The only thing left now is Alaska and Hawaii. So I'm watching the ABC. Yeah, they're bringing in with 0% or 2% reporting. John Cox has a sizable lead right now, 54% lead. Dianne Feinstein is winning 51-49 against Kevin DeLeon. Proposition 1 is 54% no. Prop 2 is 53% yes. Prop 3 is 57% no. Prop 4 is 54% yes. These are all California propositions. Prop 5 is 55% no. Prop 6 is 51% yes. Prop 7 is 60% yes. This is 3% reporting. Prop 8 is 67% no. Jesus, man, they really voted that down, the anti-dialysis. Prop 10 is 70% no. Motherfucker. It's only 3% voting, you stupid fucking idiots. Prop 11 is 64% yes. Prop 12 is 54% yes. Free the pigs. Lieutenant Governor. Man, 70% no right now. I'm hoping that's because in California, record numbers of voting by mail. 750,000 people voted by mail. So they got to a lot of homeowners and told them your property values are going to decline if you vote, if 10 passes. Still a lot to come in, but it doesn't look good right now. It's 70-30 no on Prop 10, which is disappointing. Let's see, 1% reporting on Congressional District 39. Can somebody find the information of who the other green running, Rodolfo, I believe his name is? You can find what district he's running in. Yeah, Prop 10 does not look like it's doing well at all. Ugh, stupid idiots. Fucking morons. Agent Dale Chomsky for Florida voted to reinstate the vote for 1.4 million nonviolent felons, also voted to ban offshore drilling. So that's pretty good. That's some progressive wins right there. Good. Protect your coast, Florida. Way to go. Yeah. Hey, you. Hi. Blue wave means moderate Republican from the 90s, which is how Obama described himself. Yeah, that's true. Absolutely. Absolutely. Moose Gal, did Beto kick Ted's ass? Now they're predicting Ted Cruz won 51-48 or 51-49. Yeah, there's like 80% of the polls are in Texas. Looks like Ted Cruz won. California 40. Okay. I don't know. 51-49 is kicking Beto's ass. California 40. That's what I want to look at. I want to look at the California 40. See if we can get some results there. Let's see what they flow. They list this in the paper as Lucille Robai Allard, a Democrat, is running against other. They won't even list the green candidate on the political website. Jesus. Jackwagon website. Wow. Let's go back to if there's any election results yet for the 34th. This political site sucks. Those politicals are stupid. There's the New York Times site. Check this real quick. That Prop 10 shit really makes me fucking mad. They're idiots if they didn't vote for it. Jimmy Gomez and other. Politico won't even list. I'm at Politico's website right now. Here, I'm going to show you this, guys. Look at this. Look at how fucking bullshit this is. Jimmy Gomez and other. California 34th Congressional District. Other. They won't even list the Green Party's name. He won the primary. Other. Look at that. Look at that shit. And look what happens when I go to the 40th. Come on, you stupid website. Look what happens when I go to the 40th. Same thing. They say, scroll down. Other. 41st. That's not what I asked for, you dumb robot. Other. That's a Green candidate. Again, another guy that won his primary and is in the general. It's top 2 in California. He's other, according to Politico. You know what? Fuck Politico. Fuck you, Politico, you suckholes. Fucking ditch your dumb website, you bags of shit. God, that makes me mad. If you're running for the Green Party, you're just other. You're not a real candidate, apparently. Yeah. You can't see my screen? Ugh, fuck Politico. It doesn't matter. Greatest man ever. It's not depressing for me simply because I had zero expectations going tonight for the establishment Democrats. I didn't have a lot of hope for the establishment Democrats either. I guess I'm just mad about Prop 10. It's not over yet. There's going to be it's only 3% voting. Maybe, I don't know. God, fucking stupider people. Yeah, fuck 538 too. Moose Keller heard that some votes in Texas with machines voted Beto, but Cruz counted. I wouldn't doubt that, man. Check for voter fraud. Hey, Mars, I'm making you all the sake bomb. Doors open. Natural progressive. As depressing as this has been, Utah made some progress. Yeah, absolutely. To reiterate, if anybody's joining us, Natural Progressive reported that Utah voted for medical marijuana and they voted for Medicaid. Those are two big things. Those are two very big. We got to find the victories where we can get them. And when a red state like Utah votes for medical marijuana, it's a thing that Congresswoman Tulsi Gabbard has said publicly, and I did a video on it. She's in favor of legalizing marijuana on a federal level. So it's big that happened in Utah, in a red state. Yeah, if it happens in Oregon and shit like that, okay, fine. But Utah votes for medical marijuana because you want. And I said this when Colorado voted for recreational marijuana several years ago. I said, you watch. Colorado is going to bring in all of this tax revenue, and every other state's going to go, wait, how much? And that's what happened. Colorado has all this tax revenue coming in from medical marijuana. From what I understand, if any of you are in Colorado, correct me if I'm wrong, give me updated information. But I've heard Colorado has put all this more money into schooling. They're building homes for the homeless. Like, all this stuff is happening, and every state's going to go, oh, there's money to be made. We should do that. Everyone's understanding it. It's the way it's what's going on. God, Heidi Heitkamp lost her Senate seat. This is I want to talk about this again because I just saw it again. So Heidi Heitkamp is a Democratic senator from North Dakota, and she just lost. You know why she lost? She's pro-fracking. She votes with the Republicans all the time. You know what you should do, Heidi? You should go to North Dakota, get a Democrat that goes left, labor, health care for everybody. You'd win that state. Looks like Romney's going to win. Yeah. As I said, Sanders has won. Tim Kaine won. Boo. Love me some Graham. Yeah. Kenneth Other Mejia. Yeah, Jimmy Dore, when you give voters a choice between a Republican and a Republican, the Republican will win every time. South Park, the court Dems won't let a progressive run against Trump. Yeah, this is what we're going to see from this is, well, now Gavin Newsom and Cox are at 50%, 50%. See what happens when more polls start to report. That's what I just saw on ABC. So there isn't a blue wave. They lost the Senate. They're going to win Congress. So now we have a Republican Senate and a Democratic Congress. And how left is that Democratic Congress? The Democrats are going to claim a big victory. And anywhere a corporate Democrat won, they're going to go, see, this is why we won. I don't know that they're going to, I mean, they're going to take whatever happens, the final results of tonight, the Democrats are still going to take it as a justification to run another corporate Democrat in 2020 and play the identity politics game. That's what's going to happen. Breaking Wisconsin news, Governor Scott Walker is losing his race. Haha. Balthazar 228, unfortunately, all dispensaries have to send their taxes to DC as cash, as they are technically profiting from a criminal enterprise in the eyes of the federal government. Yeah. Yeah, Billy Joe Kane. Well, that's a good point you bring up, Balthazar, too. This is why Tulsi Gabbard, and I wholeheartedly supports, if we fed, that's the problem. So even in states like Colorado and California that have recreational marijuana, and soon to be Utah, the bank, that's the problem with the banks. The banks are federally mandated, so it's still a crime under the eyes of the Fed. So if we legalize it on a federal level, then they don't have to do all this shady banking. That's why I hope public banking funds the Prop B. Yeah, the Democrats will continue to vote for the military-industrial complex. Yeah, giant envelopes of cash, crazy. Yeah, biggest Dem failure, no Medicare for all. There isn't a left, yeah. How's it going for Stacey Abrams in Georgia? Boy, I don't know. Scott Walker is losing by 0.1%. JJFX, so what? The Democrats are just the covert version of the overt Republican oligarchy puppets. We're still screwed. Good point. South Park, has anyone heard we might be sending our military to Venezuela since they went off the petrodollar? Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Tim Walz wins governor of Minnesota. Balthazar 228, Nancy Pelosi, the only thing that changes less than her face is her positions or lack of them. Yeah. Any word on Sarah Smith in Washington? Have not heard anything from Washington. Claire McCaskill is going to lose. She's down by 11% with over 50%, and she should have gone. She should have gone right. Yeah. Celtic, have a wonderful night, boys. Thank you. Not applicable. I'm totally fine with identity politics if done right. You don't get to call yourself a feminist if you don't support a raise in the minimum wage, or an LGBT if you don't support drug reforms, etc. That's actually a great point. That's a great point. The identity politics that I'm sick of is just there's no policy behind it. What you're talking about is put policy behind it. Yeah, absolutely. When they just put the identity in the forefront of everything, just like I saw Chelsea Handler leading up to this was like, just vote for women. Only vote for women was her solution. And some of the women she was like Dianne Feinstein and Elizabeth Warren. And I was like, Elizabeth Warren voted for war. I'm not going to vote for women that support war. I'm not going to vote for men that support war. I'm not going to vote for LGBT that support for war. I'm not going to do it. I'm not voting for war. I'm sorry. That's my identity, anti-war. It's awful. It's ruining this country and the world. Good point. Good point, not applicable. Zambrocal. Yeah, Andrew Gillum had stayed progressive. He would have won. Absolutely. He bailed on it. The minute he went, he panicked. He bailed on it. 80,000 votes is what he lost by. 8 million people vote in that state. He lost by 80,000 votes. He could have won. Fantastic life. Although Heitkamp let Native Americans down by not fighting for the pipeline. It's not just clean water is not just a Native American issue. Let's be clear here. The spill on that Dakota Access Pipeline happened in South Dakota. Like it contaminated water isn't just, it's everyone's issue. To be clear. Her loss hurts Native American women as she did push for legislation beneficial to them. I doubt that the Republican will. Okay. But that's the problem, man. That's the problem. They go half measures. They don't go hard left. As we see here by Billy Joe King. I'm here in Austin laughing/crying that Beto didn't run on Medicare for all or abolishing ICE. Such a failure. I wanted so much more and we got nothing because he doesn't leave. They're fucking, the Democrats are babies, man. They're candy asses. Well, I can't go for abolishing ICE in a border state. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Go hard left, man. I can't run on Medicare for all. Yeah, you can. Run unapologetically. That's the thing the Republicans do well. They just fucking get up there and they talk their shit and people go, wow. And the Democrats go, meow, 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 meow. No one respects that weakness. That's why everybody loved Bernie, why everyone resonated with Bernie. Because he was like, no. Mike Thompson, please read Curbed LA's article. Proposition 10 leaders say text message campaign was sabotage. Published yesterday, reports tens of millions in dirty tricks to stop it. Yeah. That's the other thing too, man. When corruption let's fucking go to court. Let's sue them all. Let's fucking, if there's evidence, start arresting people. That's what's going to start happening. I'm going to run on that campaign. Anybody cheats in an election, they go to prison. They go to federal prison. You rig an election, you throw away a ballot in a primary or regular, I don't care, either party, I'm sending you to jail. I'm going to put your people in prison. And whoever's in charge, you're going to jail. So if you're the head of your party, you're the head of your state's party, and it happened under your watch, I'm coming for you. That's what I would say. Chris Walker, the Dems are just the Washington Generals of the GOP Harlem Globetrotters. Yeah. Of course, the Democrats, look, Jimmy Dore said this, Cenk said this at TYT, so many people said this. The Democrats would rather lose as progressives hurt their money. That's what happens. Progressives hurt their money. Sid Finch, this is not a question of political parties as they are so rigged. The real fight is between the evolutionary survival of the fittest mentality and we who have consciously evolved not to harm. Yeah, good point. Hey, Mares, love you all. Stay angry for all the right reasons. Green heart, knuckles, clown face. Billy Joe Kane. And then we got zero vote system changes. There are dozens of fixes that would have helped us today. Now we still have to blame Russia. Yeah, of course. Ranked choice voting. Just keep saying it. Put it on all of your social media. Talk to your friends at cocktail parties. Ranked choice voting. Get that in the consciousness, the collective consciousness. Ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting. Ranked choice voting. Show them videos that I've done. Show them examples of how it's worked. Just get people talking about it. All right, let's see what we got on Streamlabs. Streamlabs, great way to support the show, everybody. Who's Putin's body? Scrabble-headed China's industrial robots are already smarter than our neocon lobbyist system of government. That's fucking funny shit. All right. Let's go back to the New York Times website and see what these clowns have to say for themselves. All right. This is the current map. I'm going to go back to California here. All right, let's go LA Times. What they have to say. Gavin Newsom, with 10% of precincts reporting, has 52% of the vote to John Cox's 48. Let's go here. This house. Let's go. Why are they not showing me this? Dianne Feinstein has 52% of the vote right now. Lieutenant Governor Eleni Kounakis has 59% of the vote. Secretary of State Alex Padilla has 56% of the vote. Attorney General Xavier Becerra, 55% of the vote. Comptroller. Let's go back to the well, Prop 10 now. The no has 68%. The yes has 32%. So that's moved 2 percentage points. 8% of the precincts have voted. That's good. Let's see here. Let's go to statewide ballot propositions. This is such a pain in the ass. All right. All right, here we go. And so in 34, God, nothing is reported from District 34. Nothing is reported from District 40. Rodolfo Baraga, he's the green. They actually list him as a green on the LA Times website. Politico can't seem to get their head out of their ass. My district hasn't reported yet. All right, nothing's reported on Kenneth Mejia, guys. Oh. All right. Yeah. Jeremy Chase, how are Heitkamp and McCaskill going to spin their losses? I know. Blue Wave. She's a Democratic woman and she lost because she's fucking centered. Like, how's she going to spin that? It's a great question. Ah, so dumb. CNN is called the Washington State ninth for Sarah Smith's opponent. That sucks. Would vote against Prop 10. Well, hopefully, yeah, they probably were trying to do a big text campaign to get people to vote, and then they thwarted it. They spent $45 million, man. $45 million to fuck people on rent. Next recession and people can't pay their bills, man, just stay home. They can't arrest everybody. Patricia McDermott, hi, I'm from the UK. Ireland smashed its voting machines after using them once because they were unreliable. Nice. Dems offered their base nothing. GOP offered lies about the economy and xenophobic terror to theirs. I mean, at least they've offered something. Well, that's such a great point, Agent Dale Chomsky, you bring up. Republicans offer concrete stuff. Now, it's oftentimes loaded in lies and racism and xenophobia. And the Democrats just go, well, we're not them. Like, I know I'm a broken record, but it's the goddamn truth that the Democrats just came hard and said, look, man, we're voting. We want Medicare for all. We want all these things. They wouldn't lose. I know I've said it fucking 500 times tonight. I say it 500 times a video, but it's the truth. And we're seeing it tonight. They're such fucking sellout assholes. Chris Walker probably voted blank for California Governor. Newsom and Cox are both sleazebags. Yeah, I know. Taj Marie, it's later on the East Coast. I think I'm going to turn in. However, I don't think anything monumental has it will change at the election at the federal level. Yeah, you might be right. Looks like incumbents did very well as usual, except for Heidi Heitkamp. No progressive commercials during your stream. Loved your NFL commercial, but oh, thanks, dude. That's a bit I do in my act about the NFL. If you want to see it, come out to a show in Florida, guys, or come to Hawaii. I'm actually also headlining. It's not with Ron Placone, so it's not a progressive comedy tour, but I'll be headlining. I'll be doing 45, 50-minute sets. The end of February, those dates should go up in the next couple of weeks. I'm doing the Zanies in St. Charles, the Zanies in downtown, and the Zanies in Rosemont, like 2-3 nights at each one of them. So I'll be in Chicago for 10 days doing shows. If you can come to Chicago and support me, it's great. Well, again, it's not a progressive comedy tour, but it's still me doing 45 minutes of my business. Yeah. Most Democrats say, we are not Trump and we are not progressive. We are nothing. And they wonder why they lose. Yeah. Hey, you had Jesus Christ is a socialist. That's my intro when I'm in a right-wing channel. Absolutely. Yep. Redab Dubs with 11% reporting. Paulette Jordan, and Our Revolution candidate running for Idaho governor, is at 44%. Doubt she'll win, but she's doing better than she thought she would, honestly. Valdez 2, why are you going to do all your comedy on the West Coast? Dude, I just said Chicago. I just said Florida. I just said New Orleans and Pensacola, Utah, Boise. Come on, dude. Tell my sister, right on. Tell me, right? You heard no Denver. I know. We're going to do a Colorado run. Might be over the summer or the fall, but we'll like, we look at the map and we look at an area where we can like fly into one major city and then drive around. Like, so we do Denver and then we do, probably Fort Collins and Colorado Springs and Boulder and bang out 3-4 shows in there is what we would do. Rednecks who hate his race is the most unbelievable. Chicago is the West Coast now because of climate change. I'd say come to Nova Scotia, Graham, but I don't even want to be here. Well, we'd love to come to Nova Scotia. Greatest man ever. You guys are fantastic. Yeah. Main 80s, tell the club owners you want them there. And also, too, guys, what helps. So Ron and I, the whole thing, what we're doing, this show is outside the system. We're calling it #outside the system. Is the whole tour, the Progressive Comedy Tour. One of the things we're doing some comedy clubs, which is great. And I love comedy clubs, have been very good to me over the years. But we're finding a lot of non-traditional venues. Like we did Luna's Cafe in Sacramento, a little Mexican restaurant. We did a rock club, Neck of the Woods, in San Francisco. If you look at our Florida venues, a lot of non-traditional venues. So if you live somewhere and you're like, hey, I know this person that has this anywhere from 70 to 120 seat room. A buddy of mine owns a bar and they got a back room, or they got it like in Louisville. We did this really cool bar that just had an upstairs room and we packed 70 people in there and we sold it out. So, get creative. You hear my wife and I run this thing, or my parents own it, or I know a buddy who runs it, whatever. I work for this. Anything's possible. We are working on a Utah venue, Natural Progressive. Don't know yet. Yeah, Chris Walker can tell you who's at a show. They're so cool. It's me, Charlene, not your CFN website moderator, Charlene, though. Hey, what's up, Charlene? Oh, I know, Charlene. I hear Antarctica venues are really blowing up. Everyone shows up in a tux. Yeah, I hope you guys like. I posted my interview with Carla Ortiz today. It's 45 minutes long. I was going to cut it into 2 parts, but I don't know. She's such an engaging person to speak with, and she's so passionate and informed, and what she's done is pretty amazing. So check out the Carla Ortiz interview. If you want to know about Syria, what they did to her is pretty nuts, man. Frozen her bank accounts. She had to sell her house. She's making this documentary, Voice of Syria. She is like telling me she was like in Aleppo and people were free and safe. And her mom is like watching the news going, oh, Aleppo, they're bombing it. She's like, Mom, no, they're not. Like, they're just lying. They're just not being honest. And Carla Ortiz has such a positive outlook, having been in a war zone. She's like, Graham, I stepped on dead bodies and I saw awful, awful stuff. So it's a fantastic interview. It's one of the more profound interviews I've done on this show. It really is. And then I'm going to be releasing another MMT interview with a professor of economics at Denison University that Jeff Epstein referred me to. That's coming up soon. All right, guys, I've been talking for 2 hours. So I might be Patricia McDermott. I know we're asking about Kenneth Mejia. Let me see if I got an update on Kenneth Mejia right now. It's not looking good right now, guys. With 2% of the precincts reporting, Jimmy Gomez has 73% of the vote. Kenneth Mejia has 27% of the vote. That sucks. In District 40, with 8% of the precincts, Democrat Lucille Roybal Allard has 74% of the vote, and Rodolfo Berrigan, the Green, has 26% of the vote. It's not looking good for Mejia and Rodolfo Berrigan. Now, there's only 2 and 8% of the precincts reporting, but it's not a good start. That's a big hill to climb. How the fuck do you live in the 34th district and not vote for a Green candidate when they're running against a Democrat? How do you do that? People say they want change, they want a third party, they want a third party. And say, yeah, but if a green one goes to Congress, how are they going to get anything done? Nothing's getting done anyway. Fucking idiots. Fucking morons in District 34. God, I'm fucking mad. Prop 10's losing. Fuck these assholes. Well, District 34, you're stupid. You voted for a Democrat instead of a Green. You want all this resistance, all this change. You're dumb. You don't understand how much the Democratic Party has sold you out. And you could have affected real change, and you didn't because you were either scared or stupid or both. You're probably stupid and scared and dumb and ugly and useless. So those are the 5 things that you are. Stupid District 34 that voted for a dumb Democrat when you could have, well, Republican, Democrat, what's the difference? You could have voted for a Green. A millennial Green that worked on Bernie's campaign. That's what you could have voted for, but you're stupid. What's it like being dumb every day of your life, District 34? What's that like? Ooh, I'm stupid. I don't get it. Morons. Morons. I'm going to refresh the page. Fucking idiots. Graham, don't curse. The kids will never. Yeah. Hostile, and yeah, it sucks, but we can't complain about voter shaming if we're going to voter shame right back. Well, for me, voter shaming is when they shame people who didn't vote. I'm just saying, how do you vote for a Democrat after how they fucked everybody over when there's a Green in front of you? I get it when it's a Democrat running against a Republican and it's a shitty Democrat, and you go, well, I understand that thinking. It's just there's an opportunity here, and they blew it. Makake Buggins. Graham, you're assuming the votes are actually what the people voted for. Yeah, I know. You're right. Yeah. Moose Gal. Graham, still so many Americans play that anyone but game when voting. Greens cannot win, blah, blah, so go with the Democrat. I know. Till you can count on the paper ballots, don't blame the people. Okay, a little bit. A little bit. How do we get established with Dems to do what we want and to do what we want unless we threaten them, which is like vote them out, have a Green vote them out. That's how you that's how you get the Democratic Party to wake up. So what this means is it's only 2% voting, so some crazy rally could happen. Because here's the thing with California is votes by mail. They're going to be counting these in California for several days. To vote by mail, it just had to be postmarked by today. And it has to arrive by Friday. So they're going to be counting California for 10 days. So if there's a surge in walk-in voters for Mejia, and it gets close, and they got to count in all of these other votes, then it could happen. I don't want to raise my hopes up, but they're going to be counted. We're not going to get these results tonight in California. I'll tell you that right now, because it had literally, I saw someone on the news say it was the highest number of mail-in ballots since they've been doing it. And this was the biggest number of early voting in any state. And all the states that do early voting, which is, for those of you who don't know, it's some states set up a handful of voting precincts, not all of them, for like 3 weeks or a month even leading up to it, sometimes 2 weeks, depending on the state. So JJFSX, yes, the video with Jimmy Dore and Jill Stein explained the vote Green thing quite well. Jeremy Chase, they keep counting until they get the votes they want. I have no Dems to vote out. Graham, This is from Muscow. We are putting up better candidates in the Dem Party, but they still cannot win. What do we do now? I'm discouraged as a progressive in Illinois at the national level, but we did get a great blue wave in Illinois. Well, look, Democrats did get House of Congress. That's big. But it's the thing I'm talking about to answer your question, Moose Gal. It's the same thing. It's because the Democratic Party didn't just overhaul itself and just go hard progressive, hard left. They refused to acknowledge working class people. Trump and the Republicans did that quite well. They used racist, xenophobic tactics to do it. Bernie would have won using uniting everybody and helping workers tactics. The Democrats just keep doing this dumb shit. Beatlemania. American Green Party is not viable, capable, or organized. Remember Jill Stein in 16 went to Cincinnati for an event. She was supposed to go to Columbus, and you think people like this can govern. I don't think that's a legitimate reason to not want to go green. The Green Party doesn't have $1.5 billion like Hillary had in 2016. It's about money. Jill Stein has to go on the Jimmy Dore show, which is great. You know, she gets some play on the bigger networks. The Green Party needs money. Any small party needs money. Everyone's talking about let's start a new third party. I'm all for it, but there has to be a billionaire behind it. If you don't have the money, it's hard to organize. Patricia McDermott, America's polling is not good. All of a sudden, polling stations shut, machines break, flip votes. I don't know any other country. Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's not doing well. Not applicable. We need a march. Throw out all the old power. Start fresh. Combo Couch, what's up, Pasta? Excuse me, I need some water. I've been talking. How you doing, Pasta? Good to see you, brother. My thoughts on Andrew Schilliam pivoting right after his primary, then losing tonight. Yeah, man. Pasta, we've been talking about that. He blew it. He lost by only 80,000 votes. 8 million votes were cast. He lost 51-48, 51-49 in there. That's not a shellacking. Yeah, he absolutely, I totally, my thoughts, what I've been saying, what we've all been saying, Andrew Gilliam, he should have still stayed hard left. The Democrats refuse to learn. Go hard left. They refuse to learn. They refuse to learn. Go hard left. Pasta. Thank you, brother. Alex Sipatev, Jimmy is right about Bernie needing to throw his support behind a third party. Yeah, like if Bernie just said, fuck this, I'm going green. If they put up, you know, some Joe Biden or some shit like that to run in 2020 and Bernie says, I'm going to go green, that would do it. He has such a powerful donation machine in place. And he's a name brand. You know? He's a name brand. Yeah, if more people vote green, then they will become viable. They need 5%. Yeah, Jill Stein is very successful with the resources she has. Fantastic Light, thanks for the super chat. Don't get too discouraged. No one said the revolution is easy. Good night. Yeah, I know. I believe you, brother. Yeah, my pleasure for doing this. I love the hard left message, but it didn't work for Ojeda in West Virginia. Now what? That doesn't mean just because Ojeda in West Virginia didn't win. I think stick with it. Where else can you go? More centrist, a little more incremental? No. Stay hard left. Keep going. Don't back down. Don't back down on the hard left just because And it might be because West Virginia, it might be just the stink of the Democratic Party in certain states. No matter how left you are, how great your platform is, some people just don't want to go Democrat anymore. That's a reality you got to face. Yeah, they're scared they'll lose their funding if they go Rose. They prefer the easy money become spokespeople for international corporations. Yeah. They need to generate attention for the Green Party. Absolutely. Oh, we got a new person on Streamlabs. Elders Ron and Graham, thank you so much for supporting the show. Knuckles across America. When you and Ron go to Utah, do you have to wear white shirts, black pants, black ties, and name tags? Yeah. And we got to ride bicycles to the venue. You just spent $3 on a joke. I think that's Balthazar 228. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to do that. And I don't think I've ever wanted to get married again, but if I might go to Utah and just, rustle up a couple of wives, you know what I mean? Make up a religion and run around Utah. I think I might do that. So yeah, we're coming to Utah on our bicycles in white shirts and black ties. Fantastic. Graham, I get what you're saying. Stay true to yourself, but it didn't get him a victory. So for next election, should a Dem not run hard left in West Virginia? Maybe we should do a 50-state strategy again. I think, I agree with what South Park's saying right below you. West Virginia, you need to campaign harder to the left and give it time. I think the next election, people won't be so surprised by progressive ideas. That's a great point. The nation wasn't saying progressive in 2012. No one was saying progressive. Everyone was saying it in 2016 because of Bernie. And then when he lost and Hillary, the mainstream media was going the progressive wing of the Democratic Party. I think one progressive runs and doesn't win. We expect someone as a progressive and they win 60-40 and it's a sweeping landslide. That'd be great, but that's not the case. You got to run a couple of times sometimes to see how to adjust your message. Don't change your message. Don't move to the right on your message. But campaigning is its own specific skill. Maybe he needs a better campaign manager to get out his progressive message. I don't think you move to the center. I think that is a mistake. I think you just keep going. I think what was said here, yeah, people loved Ojeda. He was a vet. He's pro-labor, but they've been so burned by the Democrats, the Democratic Party. Clinton did NAFTA. They don't forget that shit, man. If you're running progressive in a state that's been screwed over by the Democrats, you have a tough hill to climb. It's not insurmountable, but you're not going to do it on the first swing, probably. I don't think just because you lose, you bail on your I think that's a fucking mistake. Stay who you are. Keep fighting. Run again. I don't know. Oh, hey, I heard the guy speak. He ran a pretty solid message, man. Maybe he needed to figure out, maybe he needs to upgrade his fundraising techniques or something, but don't change the message. Don't move to the center. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's a slog, but progressive success is much closer than it seems. There are 100 million sleeping voters that will soon wake. That's a great point. I miss saying progressive. She was passionate but got burnt and attacked so much she burned out. If you're a true progressive, expect to get attacked viciously. You will have to have a thick skin. I totally get it, man. Yeah, she stopped doing her show. That sucks. Convo Couch. I think we need to do what Italy is doing as far as coalition. Progressives and libertarians are aligned on many issues. That's a great point. More coalitions. Yeah, we talked about this. Greens and Libertarians form a coalition. Well, they're two separate. Are they? I don't know. Let's come together. I don't know. Like, it would be great to get some coalitions going, you know? When there's only a green running, libertarians vote for the green. When there's only a libertarian running against one of the big two, all the greens vote. Yeah, Melanie S. When the Dems go to the center, they lose. Good point. Good point, Pasta. Yeah, and run an anti-war campaign. Everyone's afraid to go anti-war. Ugh. Get a fucking spine, man. Run an anti-war campaign. Run an anti-war campaign in a state that has military bases. And campaign in front of the military and say, I don't want your sons and daughters coming home wounded or in flag draped coffins or committing suicide 22 times a day because they were fighting for a bullshit oil war. That's what I don't want. I'd run that campaign, man. It's crazy. Let's do an update here in California. No new precincts reporting, according to the LA Times. The districts 34 and 40 are still the same. That's going to take a while to sort out, guys. As are the ballot measures. Well, you guys, I've been talking for 2 hours and I'm losing my voice. Let me go through the ballot measures. Prop 1 is winning 51 to 49 with 16%. This is all 16% and 17% of the precincts reporting for the propositions. Dianne Feinstein's giving an acceptance speech. Oh, great. Wonder who paid for that $4,000 blouse. Prop 2 is 59% yes. Prop 3 is 52% no. Prop 4 is 58% yes. Prop 5 is 56% no. Prop 6 is 54% no. Prop 7 is 62% yes, permanent daylight savings time. Prop 8 is 60% no. Prop 10 is 62% no. Fucking stupid. Prop 11 is 63% yes. And Prop 12 is 59% yes. That's with 16% of the precincts reporting. Anything else here? No. All right, guys. Patricia McDermott, please do a post later with a breakdown of results. Absolutely, you guys. Vegan Trove, Prop 10 is getting crushed in California, to answer your question. The housing asshole fucksticks won. The dummy property owners that think this was going to hurt their property values voted because they got bamboozled. So, yeah. Same progressive was saying that all the mass shootings were crisis actors. Oh, when people do that, man, that's when people start losing it. Yeah, Prop 10 is the rent control thing. Guys, I really appreciate your discussions. I'll just see if there's anybody new on Streamlabs just to be safe. Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Seawalk, for supporting the show on Streamlabs. Elders, Ron and Graham, thank you for supporting the show. Let's see. Paul McGinnis Puppetry. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Plantastic Life, thank you for supporting the show. Plantastic Life, again, thank you for supporting the show. Mr. Brocanzers, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Thank you for supporting the show. Amit Cable, thank you for supporting the show. You guys are fantastic. This is so cool to just have this discussion for the last almost 2.5 hours. I'll do a breakdown at least in the next day. If not tomorrow, Thursday. I want to really wait. If California is by tomorrow morning, if there's still like a lot of undecided things, I'm going to wait to do a video till it's like clear cut. But I'll do a video that breaks down, that goes over all of these key races and stuff like that and what it means and where we go from here and all that stuff. But you guys are all fantastic. And yeah, progressive channels keep us all sane and informed. Please. Thank you so much. You guys, so let's take a breath. Let's be excited about the victories we did have. A Democratic Congress is still good. It's a lot of corporate Dems. I'm sure some CIA Democrats won, but it is still a little bit better. Some progressives won, right? Ocasio-Cortez won. There's medical marijuana in Utah. There's Medicare for all in Utah. That's great. That's great. Find those little victories. The losses don't mean bail. Like Ojeda, that's true anywhere. Anywhere a progressive lost doesn't mean bail on it. Look to the corporate Dems or the fake progressives that faded to the right after they talked a big left game. Gilliam, Beto O'Rourke really wouldn't go hard left on things, and see how they lost too. So just because somebody who went hard left like Ojeda lost doesn't mean he was wrong. Because the centrists, a bunch of centrists got their asses handed to them. So you guys are great. All right. Have a great night. Thank you for supporting the show. Please come. The Florida shows are on sale. So if you live in Florida, please buy a ticket. Go to grahamelwood.com. Like and subscribe and share all the videos. Make sure you're subscribed. Hit the bell notification. Even if you already think you are, check again. We had 76 likes on this and 69 people watching it. That's awesome. That's really great. So, you guys, thank you for watching and supporting the show. And right on. I'm fading. I'm sorry, I'm fading. Thank you so much. You're all making Gotham great again. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep living the dream. And we're slowly going to make things better. I believe that we are. It's not going to happen in one night like tonight. People are slowly waking up. More people are voting. More people are paying attention. Little wins are happening. And we're seeing how the corporate Dem policy does not work. Doesn't really work. Thanks for watching. Make Gotham great again. And shave your knuckles. Shave your knuckles for Gotham, guys.